Hey everyone, we are on the Fence Movie Reviews, and this is Real Talk. So guys, how we doing?
Good.
Great.
It's been a minute, huh?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's been a bit of a hiatus.
I for one was not feeling well a few of those times.
Yeah, so a lot of family members got sick. I didn't get sick, but my kids got sick and my wife. I know your family got sick too.
Yeah, both my children sick. Just trading off. One would get sick, and then that one would get better, and the other one would get.
It's usually how it works. My family actually just got sick of me, so that's how that works.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I guess there's a lot to talk about.
Is there?
Not really.
Okay.
But, I know what you've been wanting to talk about, so we'll talk about that first.
Yes.
We've
Yeah,
got,
what is that?
and again, we didn't really get a chance to fully talk about it, but we a couple weeks ago we had the first images
Well, because
of
it was just the first
Bat
images.
Cycle and Batman in the full suit, and then we also this weekend got.
Yes.
I don't think we even had the full suit, wasn't it? It was just
No, it was
the-
just
Most
like
of the suit
I mean,
without
not
the
the-
cape.
the-
and
it was like the cowl and the chest.
cowl.
Yeah, they haven't even showed the Batmo, or not the Batmobile, the motorcycle, right?
Yeah, they didn't. I don't think they've shown that,
That
yet.
wasn't
But
released, was it? At that time,
no.
we've been gone for a long time. So.
Yeah, no, the
That,
video
and
came
then
later,
and then we got the Batmobile.
Yeah.
This weekend, so.
which looks amazing.
So we
right?
can talk about
Good.
that. Yeah, so to say, what did you guys think of the Batmobile?
Well, not only did we get, let me tell you what I thought of the Batmobile. I thought it looked pretty cool. It looked like I'm getting kind of a tone of this movie that's going to be more, I guess, realistic. Is that the word?
Okay.
Or more, I guess. I feel like the Batmobile
Even more so than the
yeah,
Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah.
because the Nolan ones, like they were realistic, but it was still like, I mean, the Tumbler's not something you're gonna just go find, like, let me
Jumping
go this
buildings.
in a
As
junkyard.
much as those movies were grounded, like story
There's
wise,
still a bit of
like the whole
fantastical element in it.
Batmobile and then the whole Batwing.
Yeah, this
It's
one
still
just
scientific.
these ones, the Reeve one, from what it looks like, it just looks like look like it's gonna be a souped up kind of older car, and almost like
And that's what when I first saw the image, I go, this almost looks like something like an old Camaro or like a Mustang or something
Yeah.
with like a super
I'm okay with that. It looks
Yeah.
it looks
tricked
pretty
out
awesome.
engine in the back.
It looks pretty awesome, and also, but we get more of the suit. We get a
you
better
get
look
more
at
of
the
the suit.
suit, and it definitely looks like the Arkham Knight suit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I am very interested to see where they go with this because again, I agree that it does feel a little bit more grounded. But yeah, I think I don't know. I'm liking more and more what I'm seeing.
Yeah,
Do you, judging from the images that you guys saw, like, are you more excited about this Batman than you were previous Batmans, or?
you know
How do you
what?
guys
I
feel
don't.
about it?
I don't know if I'm pumped for it, but I don't know if it's more excited. But I feel like it's a different excitement because I was expecting so much from, and I think I've said this before, I was expecting so much from Ben Affleck as Batman that it just
Right.
didn't come to fruition. Where now it's like I feel like it was more of a negative. Where now I'm like, okay, I had this negative, and now I'm like anticipating this thing that I'm hoping is going to be a positive. So it's a different kind of anticipation for the Matt Reeves Batman.
Yeah, I am excited because I'm a Batman fan. I've seen all of the Batman films in theaters. Well, except for the last one, which one was it? The Schumacher one, Batman and Robin. I didn't see that
We
one in
don't
theaters,
speak
but
of-
like
we don't
I
speak
grew
of
up
that.
watching all of
That's
them
my
from
childhood. Yeah.
Keaton and Batman Returns, and all of those. So I'm a diehard Batman fan. So I was gonna be excited to see this regardless, because I want to see
Right.
what, and I'm a fan of Reeves' work, so I want to see what he does with this character. But I haven't seen anything that's telling me like, okay, this is going to be terrible or anything that's going to, turn me off to it. So I'm excited about that,
What about you, Danny?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Like, compared to like the Justice League and Batman v Superman, I never got pumped for that one. So this is like because I felt like his Ben Affleck's like completely dead on as a what was it Dark Knight,
The Dark
Knight books, whatever.
Yeah, Dark Knight
Or
Returns.
comics, yeah. So I was like, okay, that looks cool, but like I've seen something similar to that before. Whereas this is like it looks like a new take on the Batman, just his outfit and
It's funny too is even like what you're saying, a new take, but even like to the tone of the color palette of like the official images that we're seeing, like that first screen test of the suit where it's all that dark red, and then with this image of the bat where it's like you got like more warm tones.
Yeah.
Because before you would get like these like cold gray like bluish tones.
Yeah.
With the Batman, like they were dark and cold, but these are like more like you're getting like browns and reds and those colors, which is interesting. So I want to see what they do with it. So
Very autumny.
yeah,
It's an autumn Batman.
Yeah. The other question I wanted to ask was, do you think because it is so close to having a different Batman, that may have a negative effect on the box office release, and people might be turned off, like, oh, we just had a Batman, I don't need to see another Batman, and
For the reason I just mentioned why I'm excited for the Batman, is that, we did have a Batman, but for the majority of us, it wasn't the way we wanted, and it wasn't like a good, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. But at the same time, because you and I, we're in the know. We follow this stuff, and we're both like pretty diehard. I'm
Yeah.
talking about like average moviegoer, like that sees it,
man,
because
I could
I
see
talk
it.
to random people and be like, oh, everything is like, oh, and they're making another comic book movie. Like I talk to people, and they're just average Joes that kind of like have that opinion. So I'm just curious if you feel like having a new Batman, like, oh, it's not Ben Affleck anymore. It's that Twilight guy. Oh, do you think that's going to have a negative effect on it?
When you say it like that, I feel like yes and no. Yes and no. So yes, it will have a negative effect maybe on opening weekend. But if it is good and
Word of
then
mouth.
people it gets
word of mouth is
good word of
strong.
mouth, and then maybe those people who are like, oh, that Twilight guy, but if they hear like, oh man, he does an amazing job as Batman, and it's like a Batman we've never seen before, then I feel like then maybe people will
I think
give it a shot.
I think what it comes down to is like what you're saying, word of mouth, for it to have legs and to continue going.
Right.
But I think it comes down to that first trailer. They have to stick the landing with that first trailer, because that first trailer is going to be everybody's first impression of what the film's tone is going to be, and how Pattinson's going to look in the suit, and how he's going to sound, and again, remember, we got that weird edited guttural with the Bale that everybody kind of jokes around about, but how is he going to sound as Batman and as Bruce Wayne?
Batman.
Yeah,
because in Batman Begins,
and I think that's what it comes down to.
They didn't mess with his voice, right? And that much, right?
No, they
No,
didn't.
no.
It was more like him yelling, but I think
Yeah.
people felt like his voice was a little too weak, so they kind of like dropped it down a couple notches with the post.
Swear to me.
Yeah. So I think it comes down to that, and again, I don't know. I think I'm excited. I think it's going to work, but will it or won't it? Yeah, I think it comes down to that.
Yeah, I think. I think it's gonna be good. It's gonna get good word of mouth, and people will go see it, and it's gonna be an awesome Batman.
There you go. Well,
Predictions.
Well, what do you guys think? Why don't you guys comment down below and let us know what you guys think about the new Batman, the Batmobile, and Pattinson
all
as
the
Batman,
new
and also,
pictures and footage.
do you think it'll have an effect on the ticket sales?
Yeah, because it's so close to having one Batman to another Batman.
Yeah. Well, speaking of having effects on ticket sales, let me jump into the next topic. COVID-19, otherwise known as the coronavirus. It was recently announced this week a couple of how it's having an effect on the entertainment industry. Bond has been pushed back all the way to November. I already had my tickets bought for it, and I was like excited to see it in IMAX, and and then they announced it like less than a week later. They're pushing it back, and then also we got to the film festival in Austin down there, South by Southwest. They canceled the festival there, and a couple of other things are kind of being moved around. So it's having an effect on the entertainment industry.
Is Bond is it very successful in overseas?
Bond is an international
Yeah.
character.
Okay.
He's like British first, obviously.
Okay.
So he's big
I mean,
in Europe.
It is. Wait,
and
no,
then-
I was gonna say, isn't he like the international man of mystery? But
That's Austin Powers.
it's Austin Powers.
Oh my god.
Yeah, close enough. Bond, Austin Powers, like the same,
Yeah, because
same person.
they're basically the same thing.
I
Yeah.
was just curious because it's like why that movie, but I mean it makes sense. I guess
It's big. Yeah, it's
yeah.
huge in international waters. It's also big in America as well. And from what I read, they're going to stand to lose anywhere between 30 and 50 million by this move. But in the article that I read, they're probably going to lose even more than that if they had kept the date, because because you look at some European markets are completely closed. Italy is like basically completely closed. China obviously is another one that is completely closed.
I heard they closed like Disneyland down in like
Well,
China.
yeah, down there. The Shanghai Disney has been completely closed down. So it's affecting the entertainment industry. But so it's interesting to see how far this goes. Now we have the very popular film festival, South by Southwest, where a lot of films get exposure and start to get some early buzz. Throughout the year, that one's closed and now. So how is this going to affect the movie industry? I don't know what you guys think about it.
Like here in America, I don't really, sometimes I just don't think like, the international box office and stuff like that. But you're right. I mean,
Well,
like you're saying, Bond moving their date, like to me, like I'm like, man, like $30-40 million like to move a movie. But then you're saying over here saying like, oh well, they would probably, if they kept it at that release date, they're gonna lose
probably
more.
losing
And
more.
that's just, to me, that's just crazy how I don't know, like something like this would you call it an epidemic? Is
yeah, I mean you can.
it's not
I mean,
quite there yet, but
I mean it's close to there. I mean they're
when you're closing
people
down,
are dying.
yeah, you're closing down a Disneyland in the world
And
because
it's
they're
an
worried
epidemic.
about.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, seeing how it plays out, I mean, hopefully they figure it out soon. But
Yeah, that's just regardless. It's for life, period, because you don't want people to be sick and possibly die. But so they did that with Bond, and I know we were talking earlier. From my knowledge, they haven't moved Mulan, right? Mulan's
yeah,
still
I think
coming
they're
out.
too far in, like to this point where like where are they going to move it? The thing about Disney is they basically own all of these movies and properties. They all
Right.
have set dates. Where are they going to move it? 'Cause
Yeah.
they can't move it to April. It's still going to be just as bad for them.
Right.
May they have Black Widow, so each month they have something coming out,
Right.
and so it's like, and what are you gonna do? And so I think they're kind of just, they're gonna just hope for the best.
Ride the
They're
wave.
just- yeah, exactly. I was about to say that. Yeah, just right away.
Right.
Great minds think
'Cause-
alike.
Hope other
know-
parts of the world or whatever make up for that. But
Yeah, and speaking of Disney and all the other ones, what happens now going forward? I mean, their next ones that they got coming out, you got like Black Widow, you have Artemis Fowl, which was actually moved back from last year.
Yeah.
So are they going to move that again? They just launched a recent trailer this last
Yeah,
week.
I seen that trailer. It looked amazing.
So what do they do with these films? Are they going to start moving all these other films that are, and then hopefully now they're saying like there's no way the virus can survive the summer, because of the heat and everything like that. But, anything can happen. And
What
so
about
are we-
Antarctica? Is it hot
Well,
there?
apparently it's not like that area hasn't been
Okay.
affected. Pretty much everywhere else has.
Yeah,
But
well,
it's
everywhere
all,
else.
it's all frozen.
I've been
It's just-
following this virus.
I feel like maybe
Why does this virus have a Twitter? You just follow
No,
it and
no.
it posts. Okay, that's a bad
Hey,
joke.
oh,
Yeah,
Anyway,
it was,
funny
it
joke.
was.
I'm not funny, guys. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, but maybe okay. So
Just give me room so I could cut you out.
Yeah.
Just in the video.
So
know.
Bond is one movie, but you think maybe like Disney, because Disney has so many movies
Yeah.
and so many different genres that they can't move all their movies to a better time or a better slot. So you think it's just probably better for them to just not worry about any of their movies and just leave it as is, and whatever money they bring in, it's better than moving all of them to like a
I mean,
safer
again, like I
spot.
said, they might. I mean, some of their films they might move till next year, because again, they have all these set spots. It's like, okay, well, we can't really move it to another spot, so we might. It might be worth it for them to move something to another year. I mean, you got like, and then they. I don't think they're going to shut down on New Mutants. They just picked that one
Yeah.
up, and that one's been moved around for like the last 2 years.
Yeah.
They're kind of I think they just want to get that out of the way.
They don't care about that one.
But again, I don't know what they're going to do. But again, I think going back to South by Southwest, these film festivals for a lot
Yeah.
of smaller
That's
independent
more
films,
of the tougher one.
they sell at these festivals because that's where these studios see them and they pick them up, so they get picked up for distribution, and so it affects them because now how are these studios going to see their stuff? How are they going to get exposure on these films, and will they get released? And so that's where you start to think about how it affects the industry. I don't know. I mean, I hope it doesn't come to that where we're shutting down here in America, but
But let me tell you this: here at On the Fence Movie Reviews, we will not shut down.
We'll continue.
Yeah.
We'll find some other ways to watch movies.
Yeah, even if we have to sell Adrian
Yeah.
for whatever reason, we'll figure out a way.
yeah. But anyway, I don't know. Yeah.
No, it's crazy. Like honestly, because for one who doesn't know, before the show we do kind of brainstorm and figure out like what we're gonna talk about. And when you brought that up, the coronavirus, I was like, really, we're gonna talk about that? But after what you're saying right now, it makes sense, and it's just like I didn't realize it's like, oh yeah, it's really impacting the movie industry, and what you're saying, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just a crazy thing.
See, sometimes I make sense, guys.
We-
Sometimes it's good to listen
Once
to
in a
me.
while.
I make bad jokes, but I do make some logical
Yeah.
sense.
A broken clock is right 2 times a day. That's all I have to say about that. Good job, Adrian. We've been waiting for almost a whole year for you to make sense. Congratulations.
Almost a whole year.
Today's the day.
Wow.
Not quite there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
But anyway.
You're the
I don't
host.
know.
Yeah, you're the
I'm the
host.
host,
Okay.
but I didn't.
One
We
thing
were
else,
trying to come up with
uh,
another topic, and I was like, "What are
well,
we going to talk about?" And
Could've
I
told
came
us.
up with anything.
Well, one thing I just thought about a little while ago. A Quiet Place 2. I don't know if you guys seen the early reactions.
Yeah.
No, I have not,
Yeah.
actually.
So they've been really positive. So what do you guys take from that?
Cool.
Cool.
Let me tell you what I take from that. Great.
I'm gonna, I'm going to take it with a grain of salt because from what I've learned from early, especially social media reactions, is they're usually positive, and
That's true.
That's not true.
that is true.
Well,
That's not true.
I mean,
Unless the film
You
has
could
to
look-
be
you could
the
look
film,
back just
the film has to
recently.
be extraordinarily bad for it to be negative, but for the most part, they're usually positive.
yeah, and I think about it like you could just look back just recently. At Birds of Prey, they're overwhelmingly positive. when it-
Everybody was like, "This is,"
That is
Yeah.
true. I'm
Well,
wrong.
The new,
That is
the,
true.
The
That
early
is
reactions.
and
And I went to see it, and I
yeah.
was like, this is hot garbage.
I same way. I was like, oh, it must be really good, and then it turned out to be
Not.
not that good.
not good. I mean, you even go back, sticking with the DCE, you go back to Dawn of Justice.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Reading articles about early reviews of that one. Oh, they're giving him standing ovations and all this other stuff, and then you watch
Well,
that film, it's
in-
Did he get one of those 10 minutes
pile of
standing
crap.
at a
I
festival?
mean, in
Martha. How do you know that name? I don't know. It's just it's
it was WB. It was like held at a WB lot.
exactly. It was
Where they were giving it a standing ovation. so-
exactly. So it's like I take those things with a grain of salt. I try to
Yeah.
find someone who I usually trust in that regard, like someone I follow. But I'm gonna receive this film regardless. So I'm like, yeah, cool. Like hopefully, but but I'm gonna see this film regardless. I hope that they stick the landing on it because I'll be honest, when they announced the second one, I was like, why? Like, do we really need one? Like, So the things that'll work for me with this film if they build on the world that they've established. I know that they're gonna bring in a bunch of other different survivors,
Right.
and how they're surviving, but also kind of a little from what we get in the trailers, a little bit more backstory of what's going on, and so I want that, and again what they did with the first one, that the way they've just used sound and the lack of sound to build tension and
Yeah.
create these incredibly like amazing tense moments. I mean, the scene in the bathroom where she's
Oh yeah.
you
She's giving birth.
birth. It's intense, and it's like wow.
Let alone,
And then
I mean,
and
it's
then also the
intense
scenes
giving-
with the infant as well. Like I was
Yeah.
like on the edge of my seat, gripping. Like I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
He was holding my hand in the movie theater.
He holds my hand quite often too in the movie theater. I'm like, Adrian, we're just watching Inside Out.
Well, yeah. When you see my hand go underneath the table, I'm reaching for a hand because I get nervous.
Yeah, he can't handle scary movies,
Nope.
Can't handle
horror
any
movies. I don't know.
horror movies.
Genre.
I call them scary.
The scaries.
You can call it genre if you're one of the cool kids.
The genres.
Wait, I know we didn't talk about this, but just I thought about it. Have you guys seen the trailer for Jungle Cruise?
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
I haven't seen it. I told you, I don't
Yeah.
watch trailers. So.
I don't know how I feel about it. I
Okay.
thought
Okay.
I like adventure films. I hope because again, it's like, well, what story, what narrative is there?
Yeah.
Because if you've anybody who's been on the Jungle Cruise ride, it's just you're going on a little river and you just see like little creatures
Yeah.
and indigenous people, and then you just kind of like, that's it. Like, well, what story is there?
Well,
So
you also see the backside of water.
you do.
You also see hippos, but they are wearing their trunk. I mean,
And,
elephants, but
I
they are
mean,
wearing their
yeah,
trunks.
and then you go riding down the Nile. It goes on for Niles and Niles and
Yeah.
Niles.
So,
No, these are he's never been on it, so he doesn't get it.
No, I got it.
they're corny jokes.
They're
Yeah,
corny jokes by
the captain,
by
right?
the cast members,
Oh, I
but
call him captain.
and so I mean, it looks like it's gonna be some, and it's kind of sad, but it's like similar into the vein of the Jumanji films. And I'm not saying it just because of The Rock, but it has like that same feel. Does not like it's an adventure film, like they're trying to.
I
don't
mean,
know. What do you
feel
think?
I feel like when I seen it, I didn't get Jumanji. I honestly, I got
Maybe because it's The Rock, but like
Yeah, I mean, The Rock is a very, he's a very, just his character he's
Very
a,
polarizing.
Yeah, he's a very polarizing character, so it's hard to not see The Rock.
Yeah.
But what honestly, I seen it the trailer and I was just like, okay, like it almost gave me more of The Mummy with Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz, kind of feel like a Mummy, but also I'm trying to think of like how I saw it, yeah, no, I would say more The Mummy because like Brendan Fraser, I get he was like kind of like the silly element to the story, and Rachel Weisz was more like the serious.
yeah.
And I feel like it looked to me something similar to that.
Okay, I get what you're saying because of that guy girl element,
Yeah.
and one's serious, one's not.
Yeah.
Agree to disagree. I don't know. Maybe because that one to me felt more closer to something like Indiana Jones than this does.
That's what it was. Like an Indiana Jones, but just like a sillier
This
Indiana
one just
Jones.
feels super like campy and goofy, whereas the Mummy didn't. It had those elements, but not nearly as much as what this looks like. So.
But you also have to remember that this is Disney, and they're shooting for that because they want to get
families and
families
kids,
in there.
yeah.
I mean, if you watch The Mummy now, like even like if you watch it today, that's probably not something you want to show a child because there are kind of like scary elements to that
Yeah.
movie. But Disney's not going to do that. So, but I thought it was a good trailer. You can You can disagree.
I didn't say it was a
with me.
bad trailer. I just didn't know how I felt. I think it was kind of
Oh.
it was whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm on the fence with that one.
Okay.
Yes, guys, I do. All right.
Terrible
Yeah.
joke.
So I mean, anyway, guys, thanks for watching Real Talk with us. Why don't you comment down below on any of the topics that you may want to comment about that we covered today, and let us know how you feel about it. And also, don't forget to click like, subscribe, share with all of your friends, and also follow us on Instagram at On the Fence Movie Reviews for all that great behind the scenes footage that we got.
And remember, we'll catch you on the fence.